Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with another Right Shadow Legends champion guide, this time on free epic champion, TAINIX HATEFLOWER. She is a daily login reward champion after, what is it here, 100, where the heck is TAINIX? Oh, there she is. 210 days you can get your hands on this Demon Spawn epic champion. Is she any good? She gets a bad rap. She's called, according to HellHades.com, they call her one of the worst or most underwhelming login champions in all of Raid. Do you guys agree or disagree? Well, my thoughts and more coming right up. Let's jump into it. So first off, a quick shout out to you guys. Keep the champion requests coming in the comments below, guys. We have many nukes 11. Can you do a TAINIX HATEFLOWER build? I think most of hers are outdated. That they are. I did a quick search on the old YouTube, and there's not that many guys out there for TAINIX. And you know, again, you can see why she's maybe a little bit limited when it comes to her endgame viability. But I actually have a soft spot for this champion. Let's discuss why here, guys. She's actually a really good healer when built correctly, and can be a crucial support champion for faction wars in Demon Spawn, right? That's her best use case. However, she does have a really good A2 as well. Let's start with the A1. As you can see, first of all, Demon Spawn, Force Affinity champion. Aesthetically, she looks pretty dang cool. I love the aesthetics. I love kind of the bronze and red kind of motif going on here. I like Demon Spawn looks, just generally speaking, right? Obviously, a support champion on her A1, Seeker Bolts, attacks 2 times at random, heals all allies by 3% of this champion's HP with each hit on targets under decreased speed debuffs. Now, you know me, I hate qualifiers, or conditionality, I should say, in abilities, right? I just wish it was a heal, but it's on each hit, so we get a 6% or 2-3% heals. So if we can stack her HP high, this will really add up. Now, this came in massively clutch for me. I did not have a Duchess. There was no Helicath when I first beat Faction Wars in Demon Spawn, so things might be a little bit easier now, but boy, she was my only support champion on my team. Now, on her A2, she has Spiteful Cut, attacks 1 enemy, but has a 100% chance of placing a big version of decreased speed on the target for 2 turns. Has a 100% chance of placing decreased speed on all enemies for 2 turns instead if the attack is critical. So we want to build her with a 100% crit rate, even sacrificing some HP to sacrifice a little bit of heals, because A, we want to get the decreased speed on everybody to trigger the heals on the A1, but B, having decreased speed on all enemies big version is extremely valuable. It's one of my favorite debuffs in the game. A 30% speed off of their total stats is incredibly, incredibly valuable in this game. I've said it many times, one of my favorite debuffs out there. Now, the bad news, well, it's actually not that bad. I was going to say a lot of books on this champion, but it's really that A2. And it kind of sucks because we really do want to book that out, you know? Now, the good news is there's 3 books on the A1, and again, 7, so 10 books. I would say that's about average, but it just looks like a lot when it's all on one ability like this. Either way, Unbreakable, her passive. Decrease the damage all allies receive by 5%. This champion will receive that damage instead. If there are multiple champions in the same team, only one will activate. This is very good as well. 5% might not seem like a lot, but between the damage mitigation, between the control on the A2, and between the heal on the A1, she actually, you know, she can bring a lot to the table. Now, where can we use TAINIX HATEFLOWER? As I mentioned before, I'm not here to kid you guys. She is not a, she's not an endgame champion at all, right? You can use her for dungeon progression, and you can use her for Faction Wars. Very good in Faction Wars. So they give her 3.5 in Hydra, I guess, to land that decreased speed on the AoE, some healing on the A1 as well, and then 3 in Fire Knight, 3 in Dragon, 3 in Ice Golem. I would tend to agree. Fire Knight, Dragon, and Ice Golem progression is where I see the most utility out of this champion outside of Faction Wars. So she's a little bit, I don't know, one-dimensional, I guess? But it's a pretty dang good dimension considering we all get her for free. Now, this is a perfect champion just to take to level 50 to help you out in Faction Wars until you get better options as you progress in this game, especially if you're, you know, just unlocking her watching this video after 210 days. I know that's what I did on my mini account. I took her to 5. I took her to level 50, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like players are reticent for whatever reason to invest in a champion and just stop at level 50. They feel compelled to take them all the way to 66 stars or not invest at all, right? There is that happy medium that you can approach with this champion. She has a 1.65 weak damage rating on the A1 and a 4.3 average damage rating on the A2. We are building her with crit rate again, but she's not, much of a damage dealer. But 100% crit rate on this champion will help doing damage against the red boss or wherever you're using her. Okay, let me go ahead and show you how I built this champ, guys. There's a few different ways you can actually build TAINIX, but I kind of went with a happy medium as I try to tend to do here on the channel. I'm going to be running her with Umbral, with Skimfos, with Achak, and with Abyssal on Stage 21 Faction Wars in just a moment here, but I put her in 3 sets. I put her in a speed, a perception, and a stone skin. In terms of stat priorities, it's really accuracy, crit rate, HP, and speed, okay? I would almost put it in that order, I guess. Maybe crit rate, accuracy, HP, speed. So all of these sets have a little something that we need, right? I would also add Immortal or even Life Gear because the HP does help a lot on that heal, okay? Her base stats aren't that great, 17k, 1200, and almost 1000 respectively on HP, attack, and defense. Her speed is about average at 100 even. So I put her in a speed set. I mean, I'm aiming for around 200 speed for level 21, Faction Wars. If you can get there, I think you can get by with lower, though, as well. So it's cool. Obviously, the more the merrier. We have her at 217 speed right now. Perception's great because we need that accuracy to land the decreased speed. And then Stone Skin. Even a one-piece stone skin can give you 8% HP. I also started to stack a little bit of that resistance on her. She's not a bad champion to build a little bit of resistance on as well. That way she can keep the control vis-a-vis the decreased speed and the heals vis-a-vis the A1 just going the entire battle. So with all that said, I have accuracy on the banner. I think that's the way to go on this champion. I have HP on the amulet. I have HP on the ring. I have crit rate on the gauntlets. I have HP percentage on the chest. I have speed on the boots. So I think these are pretty, standard choices in terms of how we want to build this champion. HP percentage is going to be crucial on that chest piece. But again, especially since, some people might just be getting her watching this video, I want to say that stats before sets is very important in this game, right? Don't stress out trying to get a speed, a perception, whatever it is, an immortal, life gear. Make sure we focus on getting the stats that we need and then worry about finding the appropriate sets, right? That's something that you can kind of work towards as we continue to upgrade and then eventually min-max our champions. So in terms of skills, I don't have a blessing on this champion. I don't have her awakened at all, but you can go with Phantom Touch to add a little bit of extra damage from this champion. I think that's a great way to go. Just try to get even more utility out of her, right, against bosses. Dark Resolve or Indomitable Spirit are also options. And hey, if you need to restore some destroyed max HP, you can go with Miracle Heal as well for progression. So those are the areas. I guess she's also a great option for Commanding Presence, really. Maybe that's to be the first choice on this champion. Commanding Presence, strengthen your team's aura if you don't already have a Commanding Presence, or an Intimidating Presence champion on your team, which is also obviously for legendaries only. Commanding Presence, a little bit of the, the epic version of Intimidating Presence to strengthen your team's aura. Speaking of auras, she has HP and faction crits by 30%, so a great aura lead, in addition to being a great support champion in control for faction crits. Masteries, let's do them together, guys. You'll see that my crit rate right now is 97, so just shy of the 100% benchmark that we are aiming for. So we're going to go ahead and unlock crit rate. We're going to come down, get a little bit of crit damage. We might as well, right? And then we're just going to come down the left-hand side, right? A very typical offense build for a support champion, right? I'll push it over really quickly here. Now, on the support side of things, we have a choice to make. We can go with HP. To get more heals, and then we can go right down the left-hand side and pick up all the healing masteries. So that is totally a viable option for this champion. As a matter of fact, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll go with the extra HP. We'll go on Lay on Hands. It increases the value of heals this champion casts by 5%. We'll go with let's go with Healing Savior but then let's work our way. We don't have any buffs. I kind of want to work our way over. I want to pick up Lore of Steel, so I'll pick up Cycle of Magic, Lore of Steel. This is kind of the old switcherooski, which I actually like this type of build for a healer debuffer, right? We start out on the left if we have enough accuracy. We're sacrificing some accuracy masteries here. We come back down, we loop back down, and then we pick up Master Hexer to extend the duration of that decreased speed. Now, she's not placing any buffs, so we don't need lasting gifts, nor do we need Sniper on this champion, so we might as well just go with either Spirit Haste or with Kill Streak. I will go with Spirit Haste to speed her up when my allies, are dying. Let's go with Exalted Death as well. And then let's go with Arcane Celerity, increase our turn meter whenever a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. She does have that decreased speed, so that will help her continue to move throughout the duration of the battle. 220 speed overall on this champion. Total final stats here are going to be 65k, 220, 102, 102, 284, almost like we planned it. 102, 102. It looks very clean here, very clean. All right, guys, let's go ahead and stop talking about TAINIX Hateflower, and let's take her into battle, like I told you, with the team that I highlighted earlier, Demon Spawn, Stage 21. It's funny, this looks a lot like the team that I used to first clear this dungeon. I think instead of Abyssal at the time and Skimfoast, I used, who did I use here? I'm trying to remember. I think I had Kaimar. He was one of my legendaries that I pulled early on. And who else did I have? I wonder if I ran like a Mortu Macabre or something. I think it was before I even had, before Magnar was even released. But either way, this is a cool team. She goes right in there, and bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. We get decreased speed on everybody. Incredibly valuable for the 15th time, right? I'm going to come back to you guys when we get to the red boss. Shouldn't take too long here. Actually, I'll just stay with you guys. Who cares? Chill for a little bit. By the way, apropos of absolutely nothing, but because I just released a video on my other channel talking about it, I kind of got into a new game. It's called Watcher of Realms, and I started a new YouTube channel. It's called Ash Watcher of Realms. You guys can check it out. If you want to join me in that game, we'll be doing a lot of the same thing that we do here on the channel, just reviewing different heroes. They're called heroes in that game and not champions. So I'm still trying to get used to that. There's a lot of things that are just like the same thing, but a different language, different words. So anyway, I've been having a lot of fun with that game. So go ahead and check out the channel. If you want to join me, I have a beginner guide and everything for you guys as well. I will note on this team to help with the control here. I mean, we're taking a lot of damage, right? We need that healer. So she's going to come in. See that heal right there? 2,200 times 2 that's what she's healing for. So it's not massive, but it's enough to keep the team alive. And we have Achek the Wenderin as well on this team, so that's going to be a secondary healer. It's going to be very fun to compare the heals overall between these two champions, our only support on this squad, to see what they can do. It's nice to have Umbral Enchantress over there as well, helping with the control with the Provoke. What's nice is even with decreased speed, Provoke even with Provoke on the team, it's not like they're redundant to have both decreased speed and Provoke. It's great to have both of them, right? All right, so here we go. Abyssal, I will say, is in a stun set as well to help with control inside these faction wars. I guess you could use TAINIX in like some early Doom Tower normal secret rooms as well as an option for you guys. So finally, we get to the red boss. Let's go ahead and end this. Boom! Right out the gate, we get the decreased speed. 3 turns. Man, that Master Hexer coming in clutch for us here, guys. Master Hexer, dude, I don't know. It seems like it procs a lot more than you'd think, you know? At least to me, I don't know. It's supposed to be a 30% chance to extend the duration of debuffs, and I feel like I get it a lot, like closer to 50, but of course that's just anecdotal. All right, so here we go. Nice control here. Having the decreased speed on the red boss, especially in Demon Spawn, which a lot of people think is one of the more difficult faction war crypts in the entire game. I would say I hear from people mainly, I would say Knights Revenant, Demon Spawn, and Faction Wars. Those are the ones that I hear from you guys. Or in Faction Wars? What? In Dwarf. Sorry. I'm reading in the background as well my page that has a Faction War rating for TAINIX on the side here. So I'm like, just reading what you see. You ever do that? You're like talking but reading at the same time, and you just say something that you see, and you're like, what was I talking about? All right. Anyway, here you can see the DPS is not astounding on this team, but the nice thing is we still have it on lockdown. We still have a good control here. Now, guys, I used to advise way back in the day before the Forge was a thing that people just farm stage 20 of Faction Wars because the glyph drop rate in terms of getting a 5-star or a 6-star glyph is exactly the same in stage 20 of Faction Wars and stage 21. Only difference is stage 20 goes a lot faster because there's no red boss at the end to contend with. So for a long time, it was better just to farm stage 20. But now with the Forge materials as well, we definitely want to farm stage 21 if we can, because the Forge materials that you get in terms of loot from stage 20 versus 21 is substantially better at stage 21. So now we advise always farming stage 21, guys. I'll come back at you at the end of this battle. It's taken a little while. Be right back. All right, guys, here we go. The final seconds of the battle. Let's see what we got here. TAINIX putting out 574,000 in heals. Atchek with 311,000. Even the damage is not too bad here. Really just helping out as a support champion, scoring, you know, a little bit more than a little bit less than kind of the Skimfos and Umbral Enchantress on the team. So certainly a good dungeon early to mid-game carry as well as Faction Wars champion that, again, you can absolutely take to 50 and still get a lot of utility from. Guys, keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments. I will see you tomorrow with another one. And as always, take care, guys.